coming close to the end of this conference. We've got 10 minutes left. And so we discussed already quite a number of topics. We looked at open transformation as the umbrella and what kind of changes and transformations that our organizations are going through. We started with architecture and the role of that, and how that we can standardize on infrastructure level, data level, and so on. We talked about creating an open culture, having the right digital mindset for innovation and transformation. And we just discussed agile as one of the ways to implement the right processes to work the new way of working in our organizations. And we also already touched on a lot of technology, on cloud, on open hybrid cloud, on open source, and so on. So we've covered many of the points that I wanted to discuss. And as a last thing, we are living very special times, right? We're in this global pandemic. So we're in this since March already, has major impact on the way that we work, distributed teams, and it has accelerated a lot of the transformation. The good news is the last couple of days, we see a lot of good news popping up. There's the Moderna vaccine, there's the Pfizer vaccine that is coming up, AstraZeneca, the Russians have their vaccines. So it looks like we're going to come out of this crisis any day now. I mean, not any day, any month. It will take a bit of time. But so I would like to challenge the panel here a little bit and say, let's take our crystal ball and look into it. And let's say that by next summer, all this crisis, this health crisis is over, and we are back to normal. We can go shopping, we can go eat in restaurants, and we can go back to the office. What do you think that will stay? What will stick from this COVID crisis and that has accelerated digital transformation? What do you think that will stay with us in the long run? Maybe Massimo, you can start with that.
I hope that we can have the possibility to put the human aspect in the center of our transformation. In this period, we can work, for example, from our house. We can manage a relationship on digital platform. We understand that there are not two different worlds, a real world, a digital world, but a new world. And in this new world, we need a new human values that can transform not only our company, not only our process, but our society, because we have the possibility to have a society, I hope, better for us and for our peers and for our children.
Okay, so you think this will have an impact on the way that we spend much more time with the family, which is a good thing. So and so hopefully that will stick a little bit. So Rudi, what do you think? What will stay from this this special period if we look back on it in a year's time or so?
Yeah. I think what has a huge increase in our organization with the lockdown and working from home and these kind of stuff is that we needed to be able to measure more the output instead of the time. If people are working at home, they should work when they are convenient. If they have children at home, if whatever. So what we learned with this pandemic crisis is that we have to manage output much more. And how can you measure output? Because once you can measure output, the way how you work starts to be more irrelevant. What I also think is that we will do less travel. I'm also responsible for other countries in the group. And in the past, I traveled quite a lot to those countries. I'm sure I will travel less, but I'm sure my contact will be increasing or stay increased because I have more contacts now than I've had in the past. So I think the mindset of having contacts is a different mindset now. I will do much more team meetings and so on. But also I will value more the physical contact. I have a daughter in Milan, Massimo, and I miss her a lot because I cannot give her a hug, you know. So I really appreciate the value of that much more than in the past. Now, for example, I try to have a meeting with my direct reports at least once in a month physical, because I know how much I value that. So I think output management, more contacts but lesser travel, and appreciating the physical presence of people.
Okay, thank you, Rudi. Ángel, what's your view on what's going to stick?
Yes, well, more or less the same idea. I think for me the most thing we have changed is the interaction, the digital interaction that we have today, and also the digital collaborations tools that we are using. No? For example, in our case, we use Microsoft Teams. It multiplies for 10 the kind of virtual meetings that we have, and for 8 the number of voice of IP calls. No? And this is going to stay. I mean, I'm sure that is going to happen. Then, for sure, the real estate premises are going to be reduced, because I mean it's going to be a thing. So, for me, the challenging thing is how we're going to do in brainstorming meetings or something like this, in order that you need to put sticks or whatever in your dashboard, and to have an open communications, and everyone can interrupt anyone. And I think we have to create a new environment. I suppose that in the version Zoom 3.0 is going to have some kind of these features, no? In order, because I'm sure that is going to stay. I'm with Rudi. I used to travel a lot, more than 100 days per year. I've been here for a year, and the things continue in the same way. No? So, and on the other hand, I mean, I think the big companies will have suffered much less than the small and medium companies. Small and medium companies, I think, were not ready. They have not the customer engagement experience. They have not the e-commerce tools. And I think it's going to be a revolution in that segment, in order to promote this kind of tools. That's it.
Some people predict that once this is over, there will be a massive parties going on. 9 months later, many new babies will be born. It will be
goodness.
The global liberation is close upon us. So, Margaret, how do you look at this?
I don't know where the babies came from. That surprises me. I can see that. I think the other panelists have touched on that. I think we're going to look at distributed workforce different. There was an interesting trend happening before COVID hit, which was a lot of companies were saying, come back to the office. And you were seeing huge real estate investments for these major, headquarters in a single location. I don't think that's going to continue. And Rudi mentioned what they're focusing on. The way I translate that is, focus on joy and productivity, and not butts and seats. So how people work and, what works for them needs to be looked at differently. The other thing I hope will come out of this is accelerating technologies and processes that help close the digital divide. The thing that COVID has brought to the forefront is that there are many people that don't have the right internet, can't even, be part of this completely distributed remote world. And I hope, whether it's 5G or some of the other things we're doing globally, satellite technologies, that help the world have a more consistent way to communicate, because so many people were left behind and are still behind because of this situation. And with that, I'll just close that, my hope along those lines, and I just recently wrote a blog post about this, is what I call compassionate capitalism, which is, that we'll continue to grow strongly financially, that we will have great success. I am a capitalist in that sense, the free market economy, supply and demand, but doing it where we're also focused on social good. And I think ultimately, that is the digital transformation that we need to all go through, is that combination of strong financial success, but making the world a better place. Okay, what a very beautiful way to end this lovely panel discussion. I would like to thank Rudi for contributing to this, and I enjoyed coming over. It was one of the last face-to-face interviews that we did. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your visions and your experiences, Ángel. Thank you so much from Madrid, and thank you for being with us, Massimo. It was a pleasure welcoming you. We always love the Italian style. I got a lot of great feedback on that. And Margaret, thank you for getting up so early, and for your visions that you have shared. Thank you, Hendrik. Thank you all. It's been great.
Ciao, grazie a voi.
Bye.
Thank you all.
So, and with that, I'm gonna share a couple of last slides with a couple of small updates. So I would like to thank Red Hat and Intel that have sponsored this this conference. So thank you so much for that. One action that I want you to take is to go to CIONET.tv, which will end you up on YouTube. And there you find really very interesting leadership deep dive interviews with David, with Margaret, with Rudi, with Massimo, with Ángel, with Phil. So please go there. There's a lot of good stuff. If you enjoyed this, then I'm sure that you will enjoy these interviews as well. Other than that, if you're a digital leader and you're not a member of CIONET yet, please join us. And if you haven't done so, please follow us on LinkedIn and all of the other platforms that we are active on. And with that, I would like to thank all the panelists. I would like to thank Red Hat. I would like to thank the team behind the scenes that have made this all possible. They've worked very, very hard in getting all the videos and the web conferences and all the materials ready. So thank you, everybody, for supporting this. And I would like to thank you, the participants that have been with us, that were active in the polls and the discussions. So thank you, and I hope to see you very soon again. And this is bye for now.